Goeiedag, hallo, sawubona. Welcome to my channel. I'm Nix. Today is a 2025 roundup. A year worth summarizing. Epic face palms and some serious plot twists. Let's ramble about the top news coming out of South Africa from January to December. Because there are a couple of key moments I think many of us would rather forget. But if there's one thing we could all agree on, is that 2025 was SA's Hold My Beer moment. Don't forget to subscribe. It gives my channel a boost in the algorithm, as well as a like if you feel super generous today. And then drop me a comment and let me know which of these 2025 moments was the most memorable for you. Okay, it's ramble time. January kicked off with a family reunion I think many of us had wished had never happened. Duduzile Zuma, daughter of you-know-who, gets arrested for charges for allegedly inciting the 2021 riots or unrest. And that's the irony, because she goes from presidential offspring to public enemy number one. And of course, nothing screams fresh start to the year than reviving old riots on social media. Meanwhile, the majority of us started January 2025 hoping for less load shedding, more braais. At that stage, we got neither. What we did get is February. And that really brought the drama we were hoping for, weren't hoping for, depending on your vibes. The government budget presentation got cancelled for the first time since the end of apartheid. And that's all because the ANC wanted 2% and the DA said no. Action SA and the likes, of course, took all the glory. You remember that? It feels like ages ago, as well as just the other day. And just to give the year a boost, February was the month that US halted aid over our very controversial land laws. It was also when the Israel genocide case really got put into the spotlight. I mean, that was the Trump era starting off strong. In my opinion, the ANC, they're still trying to keep up. Oh, March. SANDF decided peacekeeping was overrated. Pulled its troops from DRC because why stabilize your neighbor when your own house is on fire? And this was also when the US booted a US ambassador out for trash-talking Trump. That was really an eye-opening moment how the relationship with Trump was going to play out. Persona non grata. It's like international diplomacy turned into a bad breakup. It's not you, it's your tweets. April Fools? Not a chance. SA politics. April is the month that the budgets came back to haunt us, and the DA voted against it. And all the other parties, oh no, don't worry, sign it through, we'll make it work, they said. When have you heard that, and when have you actually seen it working? And this was also the month where Albert Lutuli's 1967 death was reopened. Because honestly, nothing screams progress like digging into a 58-year-old mystery. When we have plenty of mysteries taking place current day, May was the month. International drama. Cyril destroyed our brand on international stage, while Trump flew in the first Afrikaner refugees. What an oxymoron. SA's foreign ministry fired back with a mind your own business. We are a sovereign state. Wada. Because who needs allies when you have Twitter beef? Mid-year gave us a bit of relief. A silver lining, we would agree. We won the first major cricket title since 1998 beating Australia in the World Test Championships. And I remember the joy I saw on X when that happened. And then overshadowed when the DA decided to peace out from the national dialogue. That kicked up a fuss, and it also put the purpose of the national dialogue onto the table for SA to discuss. Again, feels like yesterday, feels like a million years away. July was like a horse out of the gate. Honestly, it set the tone for the rest of the year. And this is when our police minister was thrown into the spotlight. Allegations made by Police Commissioner Mkunazi, collusion and corruption between politicians, senior police, prosecutors, intelligence operatives, and elements of the judiciary. And I just want to remind all of you that this is when it took Cyril 2 weeks to address us, South Africa, as well as actually make a decision on what's going to happen. He was overseas. He didn't seem stressed at all. It's almost like he wanted to give Mr. Senzo and all the other criminals time to get their paperwork in order. If you know what I mean. You know what we were left with? Another commission. The Matlanga Commission. Crime? What crime? Oh, that. No, never mind that. Look over here. Classic distraction. August gave us another silver lining. Julius Malema, EFF leader, convicted of the hate speech in the 2022 rallies. The Equality Court says, words matter, Jules. I say, every win counts, guys. September is not spring for South Africa. September's a little bit morbid because that is when Ambassador Nazi Mtweta was found dead in Paris, suspected. Sure. Here's surprising news for me that I decided to leave in. September was also the month that a hospital cleaner was busted with placentas. So that was definitely not on my radar. But I can tell you, I sure am curious enough to look into that a little bit later. I must say, there were a couple of silver linings in the year. A lot of it sport-related, because we all agree that's one thing we do excel in. You know, if our politicians could be 50% as amazing as our sports teams, SA would be pumping, man. So October, silver lining, Springboks retained rugby championships. Bafana also qualified for 2026 World Cup. That was a truly impressive moment. Rugby and soccer and cricket earlier in the year. I mean, viva sports people, viva. But like not sarcastically. October did bring another silver lining. Malema's gun conviction was finalized. Sentencing postponed to January 2026. My message for Jules. Tick-tock, but only a couple of days now. November, just the other day, was G20. But also, it's a month later, and what have we got to show for it? All that cost. How have you improved my life? But it did give us insight into the fact that the ANC is capable of giving us service delivery. Let's also not forget that Trump boycotted this G20, and we are not invited to next year. Funny, because the build-up to the G20 was overshadowed by gender-based violence protests. And that was also the same month that was declared a national disaster. Finally, but also, and then, where are our country's leaders? What now, Cyril? And to close off December on a high note, I do mean that sarcastically. We wrapped December in horror because December was the month the government decided to raid the Refugee Processing Center. The United States is now demanding answers from the South African government. 7 Kenyan nationals arrested They have also now been deported, and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says that officials' passport information, which was leaked, is an unacceptable form of harassment that risks putting the individual in harm's way. Doxing is just getting a little out of hand. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is 2025. What a ride. A year of commissions, budgets, boycotts, breakthroughs. We've laughed, we've cringed, but we've survived. True essay style. What sort of off-earth surprises does 2026 hold for us? What uncharted land has South African government not yet trampled over? What else could politicians possibly throw at us? You know what? In some ways, the list is endless. Drop me a comment. Let me know which of these moments have been your most memorable. I have to say that White House moment really stands out for me. Other than that, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Costs you nothing. Helps me immensely. For everybody else, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, Nikki and Paul, you guys the most. Guys, have a fabulous New Year's. Be safe. Be the best human that you could possibly be. Over and out.